Hi everybody, this is Sean Green, Wasatch Group Real Estate. How you doing? Hey, this is a short tutorial that kind of outlines the 5 steps to a successful HUD transaction. This is going to be useful for both seasoned veterans and first-time HUD agents as well. A number of things have changed in the last 7 or 8 years, and even some things have changed over the last couple of years that you'll want to be aware of. So please stick around and listen to this. This is the first step of 5. Takes about 9 or 10 minutes and has a lot of great information. First and foremost, you may start seeing a new name around the HUD business, and that name is Sage Acquisitions. They're the newest asset manager. They are the only asset manager now in Utah. No longer do we have 3, a little easier to keep track of. So you're going to start seeing that around and be aware that this is their process. And this document that you're looking at is connected to each one of my listings. So if you look at the attached documents, you're going to see this in here. And this document is going to give you everything you need to complete the HUD transaction. So that includes, your owner-occupant investor packages. That includes all of your miscellaneous forms, all of your contract cancellations, utilities activations. That's all here, and it really gives it a nice streamlined look. So first and foremost, let's talk about step 1. This is a step where you get the buyer signed contracts and the other associated documentation, and you send that over to the asset manager so that they can execute it and email an executed contract back to you. So the first deadline you'll want to be aware of that's unique to HUD is you have 2 business days to deliver the buyer signed contract, pre-qual, and earnest money copy to the asset manager. Asset manager, Sage Acquisitions, like we said earlier. So this is this deadline's very, they're very strict on this. So here's an example. So if you get an executed contract on Friday, you have until Tuesday to get that back to them. So you have 2 full business days to get it to them, and it needs to be in their office. So this is going to take a little bit of planning on the agent's part, because not only do you have to get your buyer to sign the contract, original signatures, remember, and you also have to get your broker to sign it, and in a lot of cases you'll need to get your title company to sign it. So it's going to take a little coordination. Definitely want to do a next day delivery, through FedEx or UPS or whoever it might be. Let's take a look here at the first step in the process, and some of us are familiar with the HUD contract. It's a unique contract to them. This is a link you're seeing here. So let's click on that and open the owner-occupant / investor HUD contract package. So you're going to click on that link. This is a link that takes you right to the package. You can download it to your computer. After you've downloaded it, you can go ahead and fill it in. This is a pretty slick contract. All you really need to do is fill out the first page here with your HUD case number, your purchaser info, selling broker info, and then all of your property specific information you got from your bid submission sheet that you should have printed out from HUD Home Store. If you didn't print it out, you can access it there and put it next to it here and fill it out. So it's really easy to do. There's helpful little areas here where there's common questions, so be sure to check those out. They'll answer a lot of common questions. One of the biggest places where we have questions is this style in which title will be taken. When you download this, you're actually going to be able to choose from a list of options, and one will become very obvious, and you'll select that, and that's one of the biggest areas of confusion that we have on these. So fill this out. It should populate just about every field in this contract. You will want to double check it. You will want to go through it manually and double check. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Sometimes you'll need to put your cursor in a field, say in purchaser, and hit enter to get it to populate. But in most cases, it will populate pretty well. There is a separate video tutorial on this whole section. This will take a little bit of time. So when you get done with this video, the next one I'd recommend you watch is the video on the contract completion. And you're going to see that is available to click at on this link right here. So Very useful. It's the longest video, but it's also going to be the most important. For the remainder of this video, we're going to talk about the rest of the process, getting the package over to the asset manager. So in addition to the completed contract that we just looked at, there's two other items that you need to send along with the contract to the asset manager. First and foremost is your buyer's pre-qualification letter on financed offers and the proof of funds if it's a cash offer. This pre-qual letter and the proof of funds must meet HUD specific requirements, and you'll want to pay real close attention to these, because if it doesn't meet the requirements, they're going to require that they do, and you don't want them to cancel your buyer's bid and lose out on the property. So why don't you click on the pre-qualification and proof of funds requirements link here. It will take you to another attachment, and this is straight from the asset manager, so you can see exactly what HUD wants to see on these pre-qual letter and proof of funds. So let's talk about the pre-qual letter first. Pretty straightforward, but must be printed on the lender's letterhead. Must have the property address on it. It's also not a bad idea to have the HUD case number. Usually they'll start in a 521 dash. Not a bad idea to put that on there. Purchaser's name, of course, must be dated within 30 days of the bid acceptance date. This is real important, especially if your buyers have been looking for a while. Must confirm the type of financing the purchaser has applied for, so conventional or FHA or VA or whatever it might be. It must confirm the amount. The purchaser has been approved for. Must also state that the purchaser's credit has been obtained and reviewed. Very important. And the approved loan amount must meet or exceed the gross purchase price, of course. On cash offers, of course, we're going to use a proof of funds rather than a pre-qual letter. And you'll want to include a copy of a bank statement verifying that the funds are available. The account number may be blacked out on the bank statements or any other related documents, but it does need to show the purchaser's name, and the statement must be dated within 30 days of the bid acceptance date. And then, as you'd expect, the available account balance must meet or be greater than the gross purchase price. So pretty straightforward, but very, very important. So be sure you email your lender with these qualifications so that they can write the letter accordingly. The other item that you'll need to mail along with the contract package is a copy of the earnest money check. This is different than in years past, and different than what some asset managers have done even very recently. So remember, it's a copy of the earnest money check, and it is not the original. You will want to be in possession of the original. We're going to deal with that in a later step. But as it's always been, the earnest money needs to be in certified funds only. So in other words, it needs to be a cashier's check or a money order. Cashier's check you can usually get at your bank for minimal fee, sometimes free, sometimes minimal fee. Money order you can get at Smith's or Harmon's or somewhere like that. And the earnest money check needs to be payable to the buyer's selected title company. So no longer is HUD using one title company to close their transactions. They're allowing the buyer and the buyer agent to choose the title company, and your earnest money check is made payable to them. So with the HUD transactions they stipulate how much the earnest money needs to be, and it's right down here. So owner, occupant, and investors, that's who this presentation is targeted towards. And so for a purchase price of $50,000 and under, it's a $500 earnest money check. And for a purchase price of $50,000, $1 and over, it's a $1,000 earnest money check. And then owner, occupant, and investors on vacant lots is 50% of the list price. You probably won't run into that much, if ever. And then this is for good neighbor, next door bidders, which we'll talk about in a different video. So if any of the above items are missing, meaning the pre-qual letter or the earnest money the earnest money check, if that's not present along with the completed contract package, then you're going to have a rejected package, and you're going to be at risk of having the bid canceled. So just be sure to pay attention to that. Time is of the essence, probably more so on HUD transactions than a lot of others. One thing that's going to be very, very important, that is going to be very helpful on your end, this will really help to minimize the number of mistakes, is Once you are done preparing your sales contract package, please use this package checklist to verify that everything is completed properly. There's a lot of items on here that are routinely missed that you can really catch if you just go through this guideline. It tells you what lines to look at on the contract. Tells you, original ink signatures. We'll talk about that more in a minute, and all of that fun stuff. So just please use this, because this is going to be your biggest asset in avoiding errors on the transaction document. One other item that we just briefly talked about is all contract signatures must be completed in blue ink. Very, very important. Remember that these are always, always, always the originals that get mailed to the asset manager. Never are they copies. And all of the signatures need to be in blue ink. So that will be something I want to double and triple check. But so once you get the contract package complete, which includes the original contract, copy of the earnest money check, and pre-qualification letter or proof of funds, and that should all be mailed to Sage Acquisitions Colorado office right here. Okay. You mail it like this with all that stuff, and you can expect to get a pretty quick execution. Once the contract is executed, that will be emailed to you. You will have a copy of it, and then you can start moving on to step 2. As always, if there's any questions on this, feel free to give my team a call. We can be reached at 801-808-9164. Thanks for listening, and good luck on your HUD transaction.